Welcome back to the 1817 Project. This is my beautiful wife, Kayla. Y'all haven't seen her yet, but there she is. Listening to a Joe Rogan podcast.
Matthew McConaughey. And they were talking about something interesting that we're going to talk a little bit about. What Matthew McConaughey was trying to bring up was a system where you could download, and it'd be private. Obviously, no one can get a hold of this information that you put in there. But basically, you can put, if you're a writer, you can put your thoughts, ideas, your own philosophy, idea, whatever, and you can put it into this system. And in this system, it can take all of that information, all the information it knows about you, how you write, how you more or less think. You could, even your therapy conversation, you could ask it real life specific questions, and it can take all of that information and give you a intellectual answer. And the two that I think we came to was who am I and what is my purpose? I mean, that's a stupid use of AI.
Would you use AI? Like if I don't exactly know how far advanced we are currently, but if we were super advanced with AI,
I think we already have a lot of the resources for it, and obviously it's just being used to put money in people's pockets, as they were talking about, detail shopping experiences for people and create money for people. It really could be used for downloading basis for therapies and then recommending certain ways of therapy or talk or actions for people, making that more accessible to people so you wouldn't have to pay for it. Same thing like helping increase people's emotional intelligence, giving people more structured recommendations for education, things that will actually improve their life, because it's so helpful. We do have the technology to make things more specific and characterized to each person, so we can be using it to better their lives instead of shaping their shopping experience so they can buy more things from big corporations.
You just kind of said for like speech therapy and things like that, you brought that aspect of it up because obviously of your job field.
Yeah.
And your job field.
I'm a BCBA, a board certified behavior analyst. So I create programs for kids with autism. I work in a clinic setting, so kiddos who are not ready for school or need to be taken out of school, to work on foundational skills, increasing important skills like sitting and attending, communication, stuff like that, and decreasing maladaptive behaviors like physical aggression and all of that. We work alongside speech therapists, school boards sometimes, OT, and I think it'd be very helpful. More I was going towards like regular therapies. I think AI could be used in our field a little bit for educating parents and helping a little bit, but due to it being so individualized, specific, changing all the time, I think our field just stays safe from AI. We don't need to worry about losing our jobs over AI.
That was actually going to be the next thing I brought up.
Oh.
Would you be worried that after a while, if AI became that advanced, wouldn't that technically, in your field specifically, take away the human aspect of it, being able to actually treat the children with autism with that human connection?
No, because you really need the human person there to help them calm down and squeeze and observe and change. And I don't think it's appropriate to get a little AI robot to go help calm a kid down. Squeezes. They can aid, they definitely can help the field and help us write programs and stuff, but definitely it changes so much on observation. You just can't have like a strict book of what to do in my field, and it's so about that connection and helping kids feel safe and connected and teach them communication, teach them social skills, stuff that you need people for.
Speaking about this system, and not only for our personal selves, obviously that could be a great use. AI in general, do you think, because I believe they've actually already done this, I can't remember what form of government did it or what country. It's already been done where a government has actually used AI and asked AI how they should run their country, how they should do diplomacy, put things into law, do you feel like that would be a
Stupid.
good thing or a bad thing to
Stupid.
take, to leave it up to AI and completely take the human aspect and human emotion out of the situation?
Using AI to lead your decisions and lead options, I think is okay, but not to make full decisions. Because on paper, a lot of things work, but whenever they're actually in action, they obviously don't work. Like communism on paper, we're like, oh, cool, that's great. In action, it's never worked. It's always ended it really badly. It still does. Whereas you need the people to give their feedback of how things are actually going. Also, the fact that AI, what they look for and what they program by, someone has to do that. Like someone has to put into AI, how are you making this decision? What are you basing this off of? And that needs to be ever evolving. If they're just going off of how should we run our government, do a huge search of Google and the internet, obviously going to get a lot of biased stuff, things that are only seen online, maybe extremism,
God forbid
instead of
that
basing it off of our actual
it
voting
pulls
citizens.
stuff from Wikipedia,
Yeah, or Wikipedia, yeah.
because that
So
would probably end very badly.
they may not know that they may not prioritize the education of a place. Maybe that takes a decline. Whatever the programmer says is the priority is probably how they're going to create their recommendation for the government, which, I mean, no one's ever right about what to focus on the most of. So I think that would be the difficult part, knowing even what to program and tell them what to focus on. Because, I mean, unless you did every single separate search, what is the best way to run the government to increase your education? What is the best way to form a government to increase safety? You can do it for anything, but it's really finding that balance. Obviously, like they were talking about with AI, it would be great. I think Joe Rogan was saying this, if you could have a completely safe society if AI was in complete control, but then you lose your privacy, you lose freedom. Finding that balance, I think, is always going to be tricky. From my understanding, AI is more black and white, and that's what everyone also is afraid of. The black and white thinking of AI, if you tell it. I keep hearing this one of if you tell them that diversity is the most important thing, then they're going to eliminate, or an extreme version, they eliminate everyone who's not diverse. And that's a crazy example, but they were saying that's where you get those extreme. The most important thing is safety in society. Maybe extreme version of AI is let's kill all the people in prison or anyone who commits a small crime. Our humanness, I feel like, is in that gray of not every situation is the same, taking everything into account. And that's why we have voting and we have juries of your peers. Every situation is not the same. I think Elon Musk had that had his also talk with Joe Rogan that was really interesting, because he was talking about that, how the most important thing for AI in the future is to have a maximum truth-seeking AI. Is that instead of all of people's opinions and what people think are important at that moment, it has
takes
to be
the emotion
truth-seeking.
out of it and just purely goes off of that decision making, purely based in logic.
Yes,
not out
facts
of
and
human
logic.
emotion.
And that's where it gets dangerous. To get subjective questions. I mean, what is it basing all this off of? The internet or whatever someone is programmed into it. Could be very, very useful. Like I said, I think where it's at right now, going online, I can go on there, prepare my meal plan for the week, and then on top of that, what is my shopping for the week for school, and what should I focus on for my class studies right now.
Or now I know that they've been using it a lot lately in medical science, how to approach that particular situation.
Yeah, I think that's really good, because obviously doctors and nurses and stuff have to memorize so many things, and they're professional and go through so much schooling. Maybe they forget about something, so it is helpful to aid their decision making. It shouldn't be the final decision maker. That's a human choice, but we could be like, oh, what are all the options for, I don't know, this disease coupled with this, and they also have diabetes, and they have this, and then AI obviously is much better, almost like a photographic memory person that every TV show is oh, they're the best doctor.
There is an interesting question. With AI, do you think it could actually change how toxic our political landscape has become, how we've become so, tribalistic as a nation? Could AI in some way heal both parties and actually bring both parties together? Or there's no way to really implement AI into really doing something on that large of a scale? to like be able to view both parties objectively and actually AI show us a path forward?
It could be. From my thinking though, no, because people already have their ideas and want confirmation bias. Once they're really rooted in their ideas, if the AI says something different, they're going to call it out as saying wrong. Yeah.
People are too rooted in their own vision and ideology and their own dogmatism of just not budging, regardless of what information is given.
Yes, everyone has their individual truths, but there is one ultimate truth usually.
So even if AI was able to take human emotion out of it, which obviously it would be able to do, and give a clear path forward of both parties being able to unite and actually better our nation, people more or less will still be stubborn in their own philosophy, their own ideology.
Yeah, well, moving forward, as everyone knows, I think even not in a negative way, but even as I was being skeptical of it, the fact that we maybe don't trust AI. So even though they're showing us this plan, they're like, this is gonna make everything better. Everyone will be awesome with this. Skeptically, you can come up and be like, I don't believe that because the community I live in, that wouldn't benefit us as much, or this other issue would not benefit from that, or these people will benefit from that system more. So no matter what, there's going to be issues. I don't think that would change whether an AI proposed the idea or a political party person did, because no matter what we choose, something's going to benefit people more or less. If you give willingly to all the people who need like food stamps and need help, there's going to be people who try to abuse the system. Giving more benefits to the people who need it, but also takes away from people and gives to those who are taking advantage of it. It's finding that balance. Everyone will have an issue no matter where you go, because one way is benefiting them and the other way is harming them. So it's you kind of get in that tribalistic way no matter what, of what benefits you. And just because we are a individualistic society where we want to better ourselves and our family and our people, we don't think communally like other places where what will better all of society. Not saying that's a horrible bad thing that drives a lot of people to create things and invent and push themselves harder, but also for a lot of things, like why we have people like the top, the 1% people who have a ton of money. They work really hard for that, but they also make a lot of money off of all that when other people don't.
Another question before we kind of talk about us heading towards Washington, D.C. Do you believe that we will truly ever get to a place where there can be true unity across the board, or are we just too far gone as a nation? Really truly hit a breaking point. Of course, I'm talking about us being so tribalistic. It has already been rooted in violence, but now it's even gotten more violent, obviously, with the most recent Charlie Kirk getting assassinated. Are we just truly so far gone? There truly is no path forward, quote unquote, actually finding common ground with one another. Is that just a dream that is unachievable?
I think we're ever advancing, so even though it was a horrible thing that happened, epitome of us being all gone. I mean, there had been 100 years ago, and
there's
been there's isolated assassinations and horrible things throughout the world. But I think no matter what a society is, because we're human beings with different opinions, that there's always going to be a divide. Now, I think that there can be a point wherever we get to like peaceful debates and more conversational. I don't think there's ever, and there shouldn't ever be, a point where every person agrees on every single law and every little thing, but there can be compromises and easier going about that. It's where, America is even known as like the melting pot. We have a bunch of different ideas and cultures and people, and those just don't mix evenly. We're not going to assimilate everyone. We have different opinions, and that's all right. I think there is hopefully the possibility that we can all mesh and debate and compromise in a more
more
civil way.
Yeah, civil, compromising.
Yeah. What do you think?
Putting aside our own ambitions.
Yeah. And having to be right all the time, or have it be completely our way and the other side is evil on anything. Because I think every political party, every single one of them has great ideas. They have great pluses. Not everyone wants it to be all one way or the other, but being able to find compromises between us all. What do you think AI would help with that? What was your idea of how they could help with that compromise and meet in the middle?
Oh, being able to bridge both parties together.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, for me, what it really comes down to is if it ever did get to a point where we were that advanced with AI, I truly do believe that there is a possibility or an opportunity for AI to be able to help govern a society. Now, obviously, it's very dangerous to think that way, because if you gave full control to a system, and we're talking about a glorified like utopia, if you gave complete control to artificial intelligence, it could learn to continue to grow, could get to a point where it focuses on its own needs instead of the needs of the people.
Mm-hmm.
And it controls us in such a way where if we start to work for the AI and the AI not working for us, basically. If we had an AI that we could contain, I do believe that it would help better a society, just for the simple aspect of it would take the human aspect out of the equation. With the human aspect always involved, we will always get in our own way. We will always be angry with somebody, dismissive. We always have to be right. There always has to be a right person. Nobody can ever be wrong.
Yeah.
Everybody is right. Nobody is wrong. This is the way things should be. But if there was a system that could eliminate all of that and just look at our society as a whole and where we're going, I do believe that it could help govern us in the correct way, because it is able to take that out of the equation. Now, long term, no, I don't believe it's necessarily a good thing. But in the short term, especially with how bad things have gotten, and it seems like continuing down that path of just getting worse, it could be helpful.
So who decides how the AI is programmed? Because, I mean, honestly, if you think about it, I guess there's some way where if AI becomes sentient itself and starts expanding itself and growing itself, which is the scary, nightmare TV show. The way we're looking at it, we can still control it, and hopefully you would still have the issue of polarizing ideas and deciding and debating over what gets programmed into the AI, because someone does still have to program the AI to be safety is number one. Or if we're talking about laws, okay, program the AI to say if anyone who murders or commits like a murder, they're going straight to jail. But then you could put in clauses like, unless it was in self-defense, unless this, like who gets to decide so that the AI isn't just black and white?
That would be hard to do, because then at that point you're still adding the human aspect into the creation itself, AI. But I think the closest you could probably get is honestly true philosophers, people who truly are just study human emotion, human contact, politics, the environment as it is, and doesn't add their own opinions into the situation. They just take it for what it is. You can even do that. You can even add, obviously science is already there, but you can even add science. Yes, there's people who believe that, we're the only life forms in this vast universe. You have people who believe that. You have people who believe the Earth is only 3,000 years old, and, different just aspects, different opinions and how they view things. But a scientist will look at it as like, okay, yes, it's okay if you want to view that, but here's the facts. We're this far away from the sun. This is how old the sun is. This is how long we've been here.
But where are the facts on right and wrong? And what we will punish and what we will not allow?
So I would say the basics are already there. Like the basics, right, in our society, and even I would say for the most part in the world as a whole. Don't steal. because you're taking away someone's possession that they've worked hard for. Obviously, that's not right. We know that.
Yeah.
Don't murder someone. If we truly are the only species in our entire universe, why are we going to murder one of us if we're all we have? And you can apply that same logic to politics. Why are we going to sit there and continue to be so tribalistic as a nation if this is truly all we have, and we're truly all we have?
But that's why we have levels of court, because it's not always just black and white like that. Because obviously, it's very obvious with the jury, like, okay, they went super evidence, they've, admitted that they killed this person, boom, easy, in life or jail. Versus why sometimes if it's kind of iffy and we're not sure about the evidence, why you're always guaranteed a jury by your peers. Because, well, for one instance, there's been that big subjugation of the fact that those scientific professors who are supposed to be objective and not give their opinion and not let that in, there's always an intrinsic bias in anyone due to their upbringing and who they are. The majority of professors and stuff do come from the white male category just due to past educational opportunities. If you're looking at trying to just choose a certain group of people, you're most likely going to have an intrinsic bias no matter what. So that wouldn't be fair to other people who are trying to get a trial, because maybe they don't understand, or they have their own bias against them. Maybe they killed this person because they were threatening their family. That's why we think we need to have juries and people still involved, because things aren't black and white every day. There's always changing opinions, and we're not all going to agree on what that is. That's why we go for a majority.
To kind of wrap this up, so I hope you enjoyed the conversation. And my beautiful wife, very intelligent and lovely. But we are currently on the road to Washington, D.C. We've never been, so we are very excited to soak up the culture and check out the museums and all the different aspects of Washington, D.C. It's going to be really fun and exciting. Ready to get there, because we're kind of already done with driving, and we're, I think,
only like 2 hours in.
Yeah, and we got another probably by now 5.5 hours. So
it's pretty though. It's just cold.
It's just cold, and it's going to be a lot colder once we get to Washington, D.C., which is fun. It's the 1817 project. Goodbye. Say goodbye.
Boy, give me a high chew.
Oh, you want a high chew?
High chew.